Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It is super helpful. Going unedited, unplugged, unfiltered today because Intellivision has sent out a new email today. I haven't actually gotten the email myself, but Richard Haywood with Intellivision Amico Club on Facebook has shared this letter, and I'm going to read it to you guys and give you my impressions. I've just read this over a couple of times, and I just want to give you my initial impressions of this, what I think of some of his comments. Phil Adams, CEO of Intellivision, has apparently, they've ended their quiet period, corporate speak, and there's quite a bit of corporate speak in this letter, but there is some information that you guys, a lot of you are going to want to know, and I want to give you guys my comments on it, just my initial thoughts, so let's get to it. So Phil Adams, CEO, begins with, "Greetings. It has been a while since our last official update, and I thank you for your patience. Some of us have been more patient than others. As you guys know, I did cancel my pre-order a while back. I just get tired of waiting, and I was pretty patient for a long time, but, you know, anyway. I hope that this update on the state of Intellivision will answer some of your questions and explain where we are and where we are heading. Some of your questions is the key here, because it answers some, but definitely not all. When I took over as CEO of Intellivision, my goal in leadership required some tough decisions to ensure that we launch a quality product. Tough decisions. We pulled down our investment campaign on Start Engine a few weeks after it launched in February of this year. Without better visibility of our path to profitability, we felt that this was the right decision in the short term. Without better visibility of our path to profitability, that's a tongue twister. In other words, it was an epic failure. That's just more corporate speak, but hey, he's a corporate guy. I understand what he's saying. But, you know, he's going to put kind of a soft touch on saying their campaign was an epic failure. It says any funds committed by Start Engine investors as part of the campaign were returned in full, which they were. We've heard about that. Of course, this required us to take other financial measures to make up for the foregone new investment. We have dramatically reined in operating costs, which unfortunately required a significant reduction in staff. Now, what's unfortunate is they, had such high operating costs from the beginning with way too many office spaces, or so it seemed. They had so much merch they were handing out, and I got some of that merch, and it was cool, and it was fun to show off, and I was excited about the console. But as time, 4 years later, here we are. Anyway, corporate speak, whatever, we'll take it. The quiet period's over at least, so let's continue. Let's see. Our resources are focused on engineering and testing to ensure we have a quality system, as we cannot succeed by producing anything less. Now, the reduction in staff, a lot of you guys have seen on LinkedIn, and I've seen people share that people that used to work for Intellivision, a lot of them no longer are, which is a shame. It's a shame this hasn't worked out, but hey, it is what it is. We're working with game development partners to license classic Intellivision intellectual property IPs for publication on other platforms. Now, from the beginning, Intellivision sort of put the cart before the horse, and all along Intellivision IPs have been out there, but apparently they're regrouping their efforts to sell these IPs on other platforms, so we'll see. These licensing deals will help fund continued development of Amico. So they still have the Amico in mind. They're not going bankrupt, according to this. A broader distribution of Intellivision Classic IP will also help raise awareness of Intellivision while not directly competing with Amico because of Amico's unique controllers and family-focused gaming adaptations. It's still yet to be seen if this family audience, crazy about this new controller and the multiplayer and everything, if there's a big enough audience for this. Maybe. I guess we shall see. Many people in the retro gaming community have embraced us because of our family focus and the fact that all of our games, including retro titles, are adapted for group play. While Amico's broad catalog will continue to include retro titles, the thing I'm interested in, our mission has been and remains cross-generational and home family entertainment, the latter of which would have appealed to me more when my kids were little, but right now I'm all about the retro. We have begun a test production run of Amico that includes every aspect of the product, including packaging. This is first and foremost an assessment of our manufacturing approach and overall quality of the delivered product. It is critically important to show to our current, future investors, partners, and customers, last but probably least, that we have built a sound platform that delivers on the in-home family experience. Yeah, maybe a little snark there on my part. Which requires our immediate focus on value engineering and hardening of the platform. Hardening of the platform, corporate speak. These units should be completed in the next few weeks. This is starting to sound vaguely familiar. We're slowly processing refund requests. Now, I sent in my refund before the avalanche of refund requests started, so I did get mine pretty quickly, and I understand a lot of you guys haven't, and that's a shame, but he says they're going to start, processing these slowly over time. Because of reduced staff and financing requirements for continued operation, our responses to and processing of these requests has been delayed. Rest assured that our intention is to honor all refund requests. That's their intention. It doesn't say their guarantee. Let's see. We will allocate a portion of all new funding and staff time to winding down the refund queue, while our primary focus is funding and completing a quality product ready for manufacturing. To make sure we see your request, please submit to support@intellivision.com. So I guess if you've put in for a refund and haven't yet, you can submit to support@intellivision.com and try again. We will focus our initial mass production on fulfilling pre-orders and supplying our 2 major distribution partners, unnamed distribution partners. So who knows on that one. The focus will remain on direct orders until our cost structure can support the margins required for retail channels. Obviously, the markets continue to be somewhat volatile with rising inflation, rising energy costs, and lingering supply chain issues that affect all manufacturing businesses. These are real problems that all businesses are facing, obviously, but here we are 4 years later, and people are less willing to see these as legitimate excuses, even though they are. But they've made a lot of other mistakes that have nothing to do with supply chains and whatnot. This has impacted both our costs and pricing and has required us to narrow our initial distribution strategy. Our hope is that we start shipping production units this year. Many challenges lie ahead for the business, and we appreciate our investors, partners, and customers for your patience and support. We will be formally announcing some new IP licensing partnership deals soon. More licensing partnership deals. We've been getting those for years with really not much of anything to show for it. Major League Baseball, Evel Knievel, and a number of others, as well as showing off the Amico units currently in production. That sounds again like more of the same, showing off Amico units. These units will be shared with partners, investors, and a select few in the media. As more production units become available, so maybe these production units, perhaps they'll be different than the demo units, I guess you could say, that they've been showing off before. As more production units become available, we will broaden the distribution to media outlets that cover our target demographic. Thank you for your support, and thank you to our internal team and external developers that work tirelessly to create a family gaming experience on Amico that brings people of different ages and skills together in group play. Phil Adams, CEO. While these promises of family gaming haven't really, other than these demos at some of these places, that is yet to be seen, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll be curious to see what Intellivision games show up on modern platforms, including the Switch, which is my modern platform of choice. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to those. Maybe I'll download a few of those. Who knows? We'll see what comes up. We'll see if they just have, Intellivision versions, or maybe they'll put maybe that Astro Smash game I played at the Intellivision or at the National Video Game Museum. Maybe that will be on the Nintendo Switch. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with this? But to me, it just seems like more delays and more promises. But I guess they could fulfill some of these promises. We'll see. We'll see if selling the Intellivision IPs and having more investors on board and more time will be actually, sufficient to bring Amicos to market. I didn't really see an apology in here per se, and I know CEO, corporate people, CEOs and whatnot, they're real sparse with apologies, because once you start apologizing and things like that, then you can get into legal problems. They can show in court that they, are fessing up to whatever the case. I'm not a legal expert, but I just want to tell you my perspective as a fan of this potential console. If it does come out complete with those wacky controllers that I did enjoy using, I will probably pick it up at some point. Maybe not for $330 or $350, what they, with their latest price update, but who knows? We'll see what happens in the future. It'll be interesting to follow. From day one, I said I would be honest with you guys, and I have been excited about this console. Here we are 4 years later. I'm far less excited about it, and the prospect, if I found out an Amico was going to come to me 2 months from now in the mail, okay, that'd be cool. I'd check it out, and I'd be kind of excited, but not nearly as excited as I would have been 2 or 3 years ago. At this point, you're just kind of tired, and you just kind of roll your eyes at some of this, but it sounds like they're trying, and still no word from Tommy, and I haven't gotten any personal messages from him, and he's definitely been quiet. His father passed away, which is really tragic. Apparently he was much too young, and Tommy's close to my age, and my father passed away a few years ago, and it was one of the worst times of my life. It was just horrible, and I was just, boy, I'm getting on a tangent here. When my father died, I was, for about a month, I was, pretty useless, anyway, I don't want to get into that. Back to the Amico, guys. Just let me know in the comments what you think of these. My dog's over here playing with a plastic bag. Let's say hey to Daisy while you're here. Like I said, guys, unfiltered and unplugged today. Daisy, stop playing with that plastic bag. You could put that over your head. You could hurt yourself. See, this is my kid now that I'm an empty nester. So anyway, let me know what you think of Phil Adams' comments, his letter here. Have you gotten the letter in the mail? Ooh, I just got some new emails. No, not from Intellivision yet. Maybe since I canceled my pre-order, I'm no longer considered on one of their, whatever. Maybe I'll get my email. We'll see. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you thought of this letter. If you've gotten it, what did you think? What your initial impressions? Do you think we'll see the Amico? Or do you think we'll just see some games on modern consoles, if anything at all? All right, guys, thank you so much for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I welcome positive comments. I welcome negative comments. I delete hateful comments. I delete, just comments that are over the top, hateful or nasty or whatever. That's just how I roll, but I welcome, negatives, and I've said some negative things about the Amico myself. So just whatever you want to comment, just keep it civilized. And if you just think this whole thing is a joke, let me know. I think that would be awesome. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll see what happens in the future. It'll be interesting to follow regardless. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will talk to you in another video. If you're a fan of my work, you might want to consider supporting me on Patreon. For just a low fee each month, you get a lot of extra content. Another way to support the channel and my writing career is to buy books direct from me, including the 100 Greatest Console Video Games, the Classic Home Video Game Series. It's like an encyclopedia set. And this massive bad boy, the NES Omnibus Volume 1 A through L. I will put links in the description of this video where you can buy books direct from me and where you can support me on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.